The needy or impoverished will call upon the homes of the wealthier members of society and offer to pray on behalf of their newly departed. In exchange for these prayers, the more affluent folks would then offer the poorer visitors a soul cake. It's a type of pastry in return for the prayers. And recognizing the possibility that the more prayers a dead person had, the better off he might be, many took advantage of this advantageous deal, and souling became an annual practice that many did during this time. And it's the earliest source of the ritual we now know as trick-or-treating. And of course, when Halloween comes to America, Puritans and Protestants were very afraid and reluctant to participate in any holiday with a somewhat dubious history, filled with dark practices, and any association with many things they were terrified of, including witchcraft, demons, ghosts, and such. Halloween and anything resembling it was generally disdained and shunned by the Puritans. Hi, Stephen. Glad you're here. Boy, those Puritans were a stuffy lot, weren't they? I mean, seriously. Anything that involved that. And just in noting that, I have a neighbor who believes that the Ouija board and Halloween is for the devil. Oh, no. The Irish potato famine that led to a massive influx of immigrants in America, and along with Irish people making their way west, came many Irish customs. We getting dinner. What are you having? I'm hungry. One of the favorite, coming from the depths of Celtic history, was that of Halloween. And it had now been officially been brought into America. They had many different traditions and bits of folklore to bring to the table when it came to getting into the spirit of Halloween. And creating, you have to have a proper celebration to go with it. And although originally having a very dark, mystical, and supernatural history, Halloween traditions were now encouraged that had a more fun and family-oriented feel to them. Less emphasis being placed on ghosts, deaths, witchcraft, and other dark superstitions. Some scary traditions surrounding Halloween persisted more than others. Fortune-telling, ghost stories, and that became very popular. And crazy. They were boring and crazy. Yeah, weren't they? Wow. They were, of course, I think they're the ones who started the witchcraft. The witch trials of witchcraft. The witch trials and such. By the 1920s, Halloween celebrating had gotten completely out of control. I don't think anything during Halloween there's no such thing as out of control. The once fun and family-friendly traditions were now fraught with vandalism, extreme levels of mischief, and in some cases, needless violence. Many communities were forced to put the kibosh on Halloween activities and merriment because of the pranks and general mayhem. See, the freaks were around even then. General mayhem, that's them. And that was often in conjunction with all the fun. The holiday of Halloween had become scary in a different sort of way, and the hoodlums had taken hold, causing great concerns. Okay. Because of the somewhat vicious term, murder, exactly. My cow stopped giving milk, she's a witch. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Excuse me. Because of the somewhat vicious turn that Halloween celebration had taken, many communities took the opportunity to take a strong stand about what would be accepted and what would not when it came to Halloween. During World War II, the idea of Halloween was all but abandoned due to sugar rationing. So much of the chaos that had been associated with the holiday died from natural causes. By the time the war was over, Halloween was ready to be brought back to life. As Halloween once again became a holiday fully embraced by kids and families around the country. Decorating for this ever popular celebration took on a life of its own. Throughout the ensuing decades, the use of decorations has become more elaborate and more important with each and every passing year. I'm a werewolf. I'm a hybrid. I'm a hybrid, so look out. Although our modern world has changed the way we decorate, much of the symbolism we use in our Halloween decor has its roots in ancient folklore found deep in history. Okay, the jack-o'-lantern. The Halloween jack-o'-lantern has been one of the most popular, traditional, and abiding symbols used in Halloween decorating. In our modern day, the jack-o'-lantern is traditionally carved from a pumpkin with its base inscribed into its flesh. That sounds gross, doesn't it? See, I told you they were there. Who am I? Who are you? I don't know. With a face inscribed into the gourd's flesh. That may vary from the most frightful stare to the sillier or even comical one. A modern jack-o'-lantern is used primarily as a Halloween decor item, but in ancient days, these lanterns may have served a far more practical purpose. Ancient Halloween lore speaks of scary faces being carved into turnips, used by the villagers to jack-o'-lantern light their way, and also determines that they were thought to ward off evil spirits. Nowadays, jack-o'-lanterns are usually placed out on the porch in order to mischievously greet trick-or-treaters. And, of course, the spooky glow for the perfect Halloween ambiance. Yes, hybrid. Hybrids are awesome. We are hybrids. There's a lot of folklore and history regarding the jack-o'-lantern. One popular legend speaks of a cranky which I read about Jack, who played a game on. He enjoyed playing mean-spirited games, and of course, he trapped the devil in the tree. Skeletons. The skeleton has been associated with Halloween and decorating for thousands of years. And even in New Orleans, Mardi Gras, skeletons. Oh, excuse me. The skull being viewed by the Celtic people as the house of the soul. If you go very far back into history, it was thought that during the days surrounding the celebration of Samhain, the dead had the ability to return to roam the earth and mingle amongst the living during these festivities. You're a crazy man. He's a crazy man. Okay, they mingled among the living. Dressing up to appear dead, the local villagers would don any costume or mask that would effectively ward off any potentially evil spirits. You can bet that the look of a skeleton would most certainly have been preferred because of its very death-like appearance. The skeleton or skull has long been used as a universal symbol that represents mortality, illness, danger, or death. When a person is living, their bones are a support mechanism. Okay. After death, the skeleton remains are often all that is left. The skeleton is often used during Halloween as a popular decoration, as it is a frightening reminder of human mortality. I don't think that's why I think they just like it. I think they're cool. They're freaky, scary, part of it. Another decoration, ghosts. Ghosts are like one of the oldest and most authentic of all the Halloween symbols. Ancient folklore taught that during the celebratory time, that was a precursor to our modern-day Halloween, spirits of the newly deceased would be out and about at the dawn of winter, intermingling with the living. I think some are doing that now. Yeah, according to the freaks, crazy man. But anyway, they intermingled with the living. Because the lines between life and death were considered to be somewhat blurred during these early Halloween festivities, spirits were thought to be out in full force, and the idea of seeing a ghost on Halloween would not have been considered at all that far-fetched. Yeah. Call 911. We're going to call 911. I hear them. I hear their voices in my head. Oh, no. Yep. As time went on, many of the traditions of Halloween went along with it, and many of those are still a few part of Halloween celebration in our modern day. Dressing up in Halloween costumes that appear to be ghostly beings is fun and popular. Of course. And it's a great way to get in the spooky spirit of Halloween. And of course, telling ghost stories and tales of the paranormal is also a favorite activity. When it comes to Halloween decorating, the use of ghosts, ghostly-looking beings, or apparitions is a great way to set a truly scary scene that is perfect for Halloween. Black cats, of course. The black cat has long been a symbol of bad luck, as well as it being very commonly used as a Halloween decorating symbol. The black cat has a bit of an evil reputation, going as far back as the Middle Ages. During this time, the black cat was often associated with witches, witchcraft, or the devil himself. The black cat was often thought to be witches' familiar or sidekick, and in those days, being in cahoots with a witch was not a good thing. Nope, definitely not. Especially when suspected witches were being burned at the stake or hung in the gallows. And sometimes black cats were said to be gifts to witches from Satan. And others went as far to say as a black cat was the devil in disguise. Seriously? Yeah, I don't think so. Wow. I mean, the Egyptians thought cats were, pretty cool. I don't know. I think that was a Puritan thing because they were black. Oh, no. Mind talks to me, but we won't go there. Okay. Witches, cauldrons, and broomsticks. The witch has been heavily associated with Halloween for hundreds of years, we know. The cackling, broom-making old hag of the witch is mostly created from fiction, although some say she may be representative of the triple pagan goddess, the crone. You could be burned for association with a black cat. They're familiar. Well, that's what they said. They're used by witches as familiars. I don't believe it. Come on. I think you could take any cat, and if you're going to witch, you could do anything, not just a black cat. But anyway, the witch, some people say she may be the representative of the triple pagan goddess, the crone. And before Christianity came to Europe and people began to be converted, there had been wise women amongst the pagans who were well versed in the use of plants and herbs. Well, yeah, as a way to treat sickness and disease. And of course, when the Catholics came to town, the hierarchy of the church wasn't so keen on these gals of medicine. And they considered any woman of power and knowledge a threat to the church. Women in general. Hush, they're quiet now, Chris. Mine are quiet right now. Now you're going to get them going again. Okay, I just think they were in fear of women in general, okay, because they were educated. Anything and everything was done to tarnish the reputations of these women, including associating with devil worship and evil doing. Oh, what a surprise. And the common man would eventually become very fearful as these women, and they became known as witches. So there you go. As part of creating a completely evil persona surrounding witch and her witchcraft, embellished stories and folklore were told, and then repeated for decades about women who cast evil spells on others and created brews and elixirs that would serve the devil's malevolent purpose. Okay. And the witch would concoct her sinful potions in her simmering cauldron. Rumors ran amok with even crazier ideas, such as poisonous substances or hallucinogens being placed on broomsticks that supposed witches would then ride with their nether regions as a faster means of getting the toxins into their bodies. Okay, that's a new one. Although the supposed witch wasn't actually flying, the sensation that the hallucinogenic drug supplied was often something that stimulated the sensation of flying. These flying ointments and the very unconventional way of applying them may have been the origin of where the notion of the witch on the broomstick came from. But the classic image of the witch has stuck with us regardless and is one of the most popular Halloween decorating symbols. Seriously, that has got to be, wow. I can't. Okay. They weren't really flying. They were hallucinating it. Okay. I don't know. But I think that, I know there are, I don't know. Do you believe in witches? Do you guys believe in witches? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Bats. Oh, don't we love the bats? I love the bats. I love the bats.